What's going on is the Wolf, and we are back with another episode of the Wolf Has Spoken podcast. What's the fastest growing podcast, Kill?
Universe.
The Universe is fastest growing podcast. And I'm extremely excited today, as always, because I find myself joined by the one and only, my guy, Mr. Right on Q Live.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cubicle.
I mean,
Cubica.
not many people. I mean, nobody says that at all.
Q Night.
I mean, I've heard that one. That's right.
Cool. Nobody even know why I said it, though. But my guy, we back once again. And big shout out to Her Fantasy Box. Make sure you go shop with them ladies. Ladies. Go shop with Her Fantasy Box. And next time y'all see us, we're going to have a product. So we're going to be able to actually show y'all what y'all can get when y'all go get some Her Fantasy Box. So make sure to shop with Her Fantasy Box. And, man, just another thing I want y'all to understand, and I want to bring this awareness to this as well, is the reason that we open up our platform to provide advertising is because we want to stop you from being America's best kept secret. We want people to know that your business, product, or service exists, and we want to do it in a way that's affordable for everybody, right? And the cost that you don't pay is costly to your business, and it's a potential to be able to grow because people don't even know that you have what they need. So that's costly for everybody. So with that being the case, man, if you are somebody out here that feel like you have a service, a product, or a business that needs to be put in front of multiple people that could potentially be looking for what you have and the solution that you are offering, then look down below for the details and get with us, because we want to bring more visibility to you so that we can help our people that's watching get what they need from you, so we can make everybody's life better, because that's ultimately the goal, is for them to get how many percent better, Q?
1%.
And you might have the tools or the resources to help them get 1% better. So don't deprive them of that. Get with us. Now, let's get into it.
With that being said, because definitely, those business people, they definitely, I feel they need this platform. It'll be beneficial to them. But one thing I've noticed, which is a great trend and a great, common denominator, is like, 'cause of course, a lot of, shout out to all the testimony, the 1%ers, shout out to the testimonies and DMs, messages we always get. A lot of women chime in on the comments and say certain things. Shout out to all y'all. But one thing I definitely feel and always resonates with me was definitely our fellas and our men.
Shout out to the fellas.
Like, no, like, well, if you say the realest shit, and shout out to Q,
and
like my big brother saying this and that, whatever. And I was
one comment when he said it was like being in a conversation, being able to eavesdrop on a conversation with his big brothers. That meant a lot.
For sure. And it just made me realize where I was like, of course, because I feel anybody who hears our information could walk away with something that was just like redeemable and just dope and just whatever. But I feel it's something to be said about, like we said from the very beginning, our first conversation about this platform is two young black men.
Yeah.
That's about progression. Yeah. Bettering ourselves.
Not trying to be gurus.
Yeah, not trying to be gurus.
Yeah.
Giving out insight. Yeah. Being transparent.
Yeah.
And positive.
Yeah.
And not corny.
Yeah,
and I feel,
and solution driven
for sure. Because even in our transparency, in our venting moments, in our just and with our wins, with our L's, a lot of shit got to be attached to like, all right, but how do we move forward? And what was the problem solved? How did we get past it? Whatever.
L stand for lessons, everybody.
Fair. And I think I wanted to speak to that, where it's like, I don't think it's that many places for men to even get that type of literal. That's why I feel that's why it was important for us to even come together for this type of platform information, because there are really many spaces where men go, oh no, like, cool, how can I learn from this? How can I be better? And how can I be accountable?
From men that did the work and that's doing the work. And it's like, understand that like everybody is on different parts of their walk, right? So it's like, it's funny because you walked into a marriage and I just walked out of a relationship. So it's like, and for a while it was like dreading that acceptance part, right? Accepting the fact that it's like, damn, like, I didn't want to be here. I wanted to be there. And then my man was like, well, why not go back? Because I might double down. I might double up, but I do not double back.
So I've heard.
And I'm not going to leave until I'm done.
Right.
So for me, it's like, I always spare the relationships, right? It's like, oh, well, you somebody that talk like this and that. So how it's not perfect, because we human. And being human don't mean I'm perfect. Or just because I could be working don't mean that the other person, and it's not to say that that's the case, but if it's the case, it's always room for growth and there's always room for grace as people. So it's like understanding that, you'll know, it's like, that's why I be stressing the fact that people, what do you take from a situation, right? Because for me, and maybe as the episodes progress, I'll get more and more comfortable with like unpacking, right? But for a while, it took me a while to accept, like, all right, I'm back in the dating pool and I didn't want to be here, right? And it's like, oh, well, what did it, because one thing I will say is, just because relationships don't last forever don't mean it wasn't a good relationship. That don't mean it wasn't a healthy relationship. That don't mean it wasn't things to take from it, things to learn. Like, everything don't end catastrophically. Sure. It don't mean it was a failure. It just mean it just didn't work. And one of the things that I recently talked about was learning that I have the ability to commit. So now that I understand, like, all right, cool. You learn more about yourself, and it's about finding a person that's for you. Just because somebody is not for you don't mean they're not a good person. It just means they might not be good for you or good for me, and I might not be good for them, and that's okay. And it's just like, as long as you leave with respect, it could always be respect. You know what I mean? You don't got it. Most of y'all leave a relationship and y'all burn the ship. Y'all want to tear the person down that you breaking up with. I want to make sure your life is miserable. I want to make sure that, you regret it. It's like, y'all double down on the bullshit. Where though for me, it's like, I'm going to be like, all right, cool. Like, it ain't work. You know what I mean? And that's cool. But I'm not going to do anything that's going to diminish my character, my integrity, my morals, my values. And I'm not going to allow somebody to do that, trying to crash out behind me. It's like, no, like, it ain't working. But maybe, what we learned and what we take could work for the next person. It just don't work here. And, for anybody, another thing I will say, man, if you're in a situation, don't be afraid to start over. Don't be afraid. Right. I'm not saying, right? I'm not telling nobody to leave. Right. Because it's funny thing is, one thing my last relationship taught me was I'm more of an advocate for staying together. I'm not the person that tells people to leave relationships. Unless it's like, I never really tell people to leave or stay. But when it comes down to my level of conversation, it's always in regard to how could we make it work? How could they make it work? Like, I'm not the person that's like, yo, you should leave that person because y'all having an argument or a disagreement. It's like, nah, it's not that big of a deal. What you always say, zoom out, see the bigger picture. Maybe it's really not that big a deal. Y'all can make it work.
Most things aren't.
Really not that big a deal. But I'm also on the other end, it's like, if you know within self, foreseeing that if the relationship was to stay exactly as it is today, 5 years from now, it looks exactly the same. Would you be okay with that? That gives you some type of direction, which is a decision, where it's like, if it stayed exactly like this, would I be okay with this for the next 10, 20 years? And if the answer is no, it don't take me, I don't need 10 years to go through that. I already realized that in 10 years, if it don't change, then it might be like, well, what if it starts to change? That's where you have to have an understanding for your threshold. Like, how much time do I have to give with this grace? I've heard people say, there's no time limit on it. I say there's no limit on it at all. But the fact of the matter is, it is a time limit on tolerance. And if you feel like, no, like where I'm at, I kind of want to move a little fast, or we just not fucking intertwined. It just don't work. Be okay with walking away without holding that person back or holding yourself back out of fear. You know what I mean? But if y'all can make it work, make it work. I'm still a certified relationship coach.
And to speak on that, they say you are back in the dating world. We've had conversations, all of us in here in the studio where, the streets is a little sketchy out there. Streets is done, the dating pool is a certain way. So
it's not even, so this is my take on it. Nobody want responsibilities. That's what I'm learning. People are acting childish because they don't want the responsibilities of what it takes to be in a committed situation, because there's a lot of who you are that you have to surrender within your single season when entering a relationship. And I feel like people don't want the responsibility of having to learn how to communicate and work through problems and build some substantial shit. They want to show up when it's convenient and when it's fun. And because people want to show up when it's convenient and when it's fun, when it's no longer convenient and fun, they run. So everybody is just dating with no purpose. They're dating for content. They're dating just to go on dates, just to say that the dating pool was shitty with no real intent to add value to the dating pool, because I don't really like saying it's shitty because I'm not a shitty person. But so if I'm attracting shitty people, it's because somewhere within my perspective lens, I'm not selecting right when I'm pulling and giving my attention. But what I'm learning is a lot of people are dating, talking about what they want to do in relationships or what they don't want to do in relationships with no real intent to press the needle forward. I'm not trying to talk in hypotheticals. When I'm dating, I'm paying for data. I want to see if you are a good fit for building what I'm trying to build. So when I'm out here and I'm making these investments and I'm investing my time, my energy, my money to have these conversations, to go out, to get to know you, to see what you want, it's because I'm trying to see if you fit the puzzle that I'm building. I'm not just doing this shit for shits and giggles. But what I'm noticing is a lot of people are so accustomed to dealing with people that's not intentional, that don't really have a future, a plan for the future, that they just going on dates for entertainment. And it's like, when you get past the entertainment part, it's like, all right, well, let's really actually talk about getting to know each other. Like, people are allergic to small talk, when how the fuck do we get to the large talk if we don't get past the small talk? I'm not saying what you're doing every 5 seconds, but I'm talking about literally, what's your fucking favorite color? Like, how the fuck I'm gonna get to know you if I can't start there? What's your favorite color? What do you like to do? What are you interested in? This is not small talk that's just like, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? This is the small conversations that lead to people being comfortable enough to open up, so we can get to know each other, so we can see if we're a perfect match, so we don't gotta go on 7 dates or spend 10 months around each other. They're like, well, what are we? We are nothing, because I don't know shit about you, right? So for me, I'm realizing that I date as a relationship type minded person, where it's like, I'm gonna be back. I'm getting back in the game. Like you feel me? Like I'm getting a contract. Like I'm going to sign somebody. Like,
I ain't gonna be free agent.
You feel me? But in this free agent season, I'm taking the time to build my finances, build my personal development. Because as a man, that's what I need to understand, man. If you are a single man, prepare yourself for a relationship if that's what you plan to be in by getting your mind right, getting your finances right, getting right within your faith. Why? Because these are the pillars that you're going to need to be able to effectively lead. And if you want somebody to follow you, this is the thing that you need to get in order. Do it while you're single. Do it while you're not obligated to take care of somebody. Do it while you're not obligated to have to deal with somebody's BS and have to communicate through conflict. Do it while you're not obligated and nobody feels entitled. Prepare yourself for that, because when you get in a relationship, these are the things that come with it. You're not going to find a woman that's not going to at some point feel entitled. You're not going to get out of being responsible and having responsibilities and being obligated to showing up and doing certain things that you don't feel like, and you're not going to get out of the duties that come with being in a relationship. So instead of dating like a fucking kid, and I say this as a brother to you, instead of dating like a kid and just fucking around, date with the intentions to prepare yourself for a relationship if that's what you want. Because that's the type of person I am, that's how I go into every type of situation, understanding with the end in mind that, okay, this is what I want, so let me prep myself. So in this season, I'm building up my finances, because I understood that in my last relationship, although I did pay everything, it was a struggle, nigga. It wasn't easy, nigga. It was them nights where I'm like, fuck, like, and I'm talking about, I'm not even getting myself no new pair of sneaks. I didn't buy clothes in over a year. There was times I wasn't getting a haircut, but I'm making sure my daughters got their shit. I'm making sure that the bills are paid. I'm making sure my girl got what she need, because I'm understanding the sacrifice that need to be made as a man. But when you relieve yourself of those situations where you're not responsible and you're single and you could just go and come as you please, nigga, get yourself ready and primed to be able to handle those responsibilities, because when they start, they do not stop. This is what I need you to understand. When you get into a committed relationship, bro, when the responsibilities start, there's no getting out of it. They don't stop. So you don't have to lean on your partner to go 50-50. No, I am saying that. You don't got to lean on your partner to go 50-50. You don't got to say, baby, not right now, to the children. You don't got to put yourself on the back burner. Why? Because while you were single, instead of just bullshitting around, you actually focused on developing yourself to be a man that can handle the weight of the responsibilities of being in a relationship that can lead to a marriage. So get your mind right, get your body right, get your faith right, and get your motherfucking money right. Man, the 3 F's that I live by is faith, finances, and fitness. Those are the 3 things that I work on in my single season. Faith, finance, and fitness. I'm getting my relationship right with God. I'm getting my finances right so I can sustain and maintain my lifestyle and any lifestyle I want to provide for my family. And I'm getting my body right. As y'all see, I'm in the gym every motherfucking day. Why? Because the 3 F's that I'm living by is faith, fitness, and finances. And that is the fucking framework to becoming a man that can handle the responsibilities of a relationship. Even though it's going to come with unforeseeable and unforeseen shit that might burn you out, and you will have to learn and continue to get 1% better and all that. At least you go into it with a foundation of how to be a good man, or how to be a prepared man. Because good is subjective. Be prepared, nigga, because once them responsibilities start, they don't stop.
With that being said, we was talking about recently about the idea how also, in a nutshell, simply, men are being scared to even be men in the first place.
That's a whole nother conversation, bro. Free the guys, man. And I'm not talking about from the prisons, free them too. But I'm talking about the prisons of them relationships. Niggas are scared to be men, bro. And what I mean by that is just like, bro, like, men are trying to get good at what women are good at. Just be a man. Like, it's okay to have, like, I know how to cook. I wash my own clothes. I know how to survive on my own. Why? Because I was raised in order to be able to do so. I know how to change Pampers. I got kids. Like, I know how to do shit. If I got to do my daughter hair, a little ponytail and all that, if she'll let me at this age, I could do it. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, I have no desire to advance myself in areas that are strictly for women. And what I mean by that is, like, it's things that we just naturally thrive at, and it's things that they just naturally thrive at. But what social media has begun to do is, it made men feel like that they need to get better in this area. Yo, you need to be more like this. No, I do not. I don't need to be. I'm going to stand steadfast on the fact that I'm a grown-ass man. I'm going to handle my responsibilities like a grown-ass man. I'm going to show up like a grown-ass man, and I want y'all to do the same. Be a grown-ass man. You don't got to agree with everything your girl say. That don't mean you got to shut her down. Just understand, like, that's your perspective. I don't got to give you mine. We don't got to see it the same way. You can have yours. I'm going to have mine. But I'm definitely not about to change. Like, niggas is denouncing manhood and trying to make it, yeah, this why niggas are here like that. Bro, you don't got, that's not how you gonna get accepted, bro. That's not gonna get you no extra pussy. That's not gonna get you no extra cool points. That's gonna in turn get you disrespected at some point. And even if she making you think that she agree because you're adhering to what she see the world as, that don't mean that she's gonna see you in an admirable way. She's still gonna chase the niggas that's completely the opposite. Why? Because they they go after what rebels against them. Just naturally how they fucking operate. So with the fact of the matter is you're trying to align with them while they're trying to get the men who don't align with them to align with them. So just stay steadfast in who you are. When I mean by align, I'm not talking about spiritually or ideology-wise or mindset-wise. I'm talking about align with perspective. Like they want us to think like them. And because we don't do it is why they still come after us, because they still fighting to get us to act like them. But while y'all sitting there turning the tide and not being men, some men like, don't be scared to send your girl this video. Send it to her. Fuck you, what you scared of? Send her, even if it
all she's gonna do is disagree.
Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, my boy. If she find a video and she want to get her point across, she gonna share it to the story because she gonna want you to see it subconsciously where she's subbing you, or she gonna send it to you. So put your fucking pants on, bro, and send her this shit. Go find something that you agree with. You know what? I want you to see this, babe, because you know that your intent behind it is not malicious. You know that you're trying to get across to her something that you probably been trying to explain that she can't hear. You sound like you speaking Spanish, Chinese, or Japanese or some shit, and maybe she can hear it more clear when it's coming from a different deliverer. And fact of the matter is, bro, pull your fucking, you know what I mean, your big boy pants up and send that shit to her.
With your Timbs.
With your Timbs. Put your Timbs on.
And as a testimony, I got a female friend that I spoke about on the show before. She got her guy. He sent her a clip of ours before, and I kind of rehashed it on here. And I said, no, this timestamp, this for you. We talked about it here. That's all you right there.
And I had no idea.
Yeah. She sent me back. She was like, yo, I'm really pissed the fuck off because y'all really clocked my fucking T, ran down on me. But y'all kept going too far at certain points. But then I'm mad. Y'all sound just like him too. I'm like,
bro, we here. We here. We here. Like,
respect the space.
Listen, man, I speak to the women, but I speak for the men. So I want y'all to understand the difference in that sentiment. I'm not a guy that's looking to speak for women. That's not, y'all got enough of that, right? I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to you in a way that maybe your man can't deliver. I'm speaking to you in a way that maybe my future wife watching, I want you to understand the man you're going to be marrying, baby. I want you to know who you marrying. And I'm speaking for the men. Not the boys, not the weirdos, not the motherfucker that's on weird shit and other shit. For the men that's showing up, handling their responsibilities, that's doing what they got to do, even when times get challenging, the ones that's in preparation to get in the situation, and the one that prepared, and the one that's doing it with no prep, that's making it work. That's who we stand with in solidarity, and that's who we push for. The 1%ers, man.
For sure. Other thing I was talking about was when you spoke about, getting out of a relationship, moving on. And I feel like we could touch on that a little more. I feel like whether you're leaving a relationship or leaving a space, moving, whatever, I feel you truly have to cleanse yourself from that. So whatever that next chapter, that next stage is, you're fully decompressed, unpack, and move on. Or you're going to be carrying that baggage, that anchor, and then you're not even realizing whether you be going to a greater relationship, a greater space, new horizons, new city, but you got that anchor literally as you elevate back. That's going to fuck up the whole path ahead or whatever. Yeah. So speak about how, of course, you say you learn from it, but the idea of what you had to truly leave behind so you can fully embrace whatever it was.
I'm still doing that. That's why I know for a fact, as much as, because it ain't like it ain't been that long. You know what I mean? So I know for a fact that that's why I said the 3 F's I'm working on right now is faith, fitness, and finances. I'm getting my faith right, you know what I mean? Strengthening my relationship, getting my finances right, because I understood that although it wasn't shown outwardly, inwardly, I know how I felt in a lot of situations when I had to make sacrifices that I wasn't prepared for, right? And then just getting my fitness right, because that's therapy for me. It's getting my body right, because at the end of the day, same way we got something we want to look at, women want to look at shit too. So I want to make sure that I'm fully looking how I want to be. I'm in the best shape right now, and I like it, and I'm on that because that's what I'm working on. But as far as then, like, the cleanse part is like, part 1 was accepting, like, all right, cool, like, that's what it is. And being able to say, you know what, like, because I always talk about titles not defining us. Just like, part of it was like, damn, like, when you in a space and working on yourself as much as I am, do people give you grace to fail in relationships? And it's like, honestly, I had to tell myself I don't really give a fuck if they give me grace or not, because I got to give me grace, because nobody has to understand the amount of work I do in a day-to-day to give me a grace. All I got to do is be able to stand with my decisions, understand why I'm doing something, why I'm not doing something, and what I seek to accomplish from it. So to not anchor is me understanding that I have to get these 3 pillars to a certain level, because that's going to, because everything else is just you figure out when you get there. But what I will say is, as much as I feel like it's not the season for me, considering where my focus is at, and I'm literally focused on developing me, because I've been a parent since I was 16 years old. So my entire early adulthood, late childhood was geared towards trying to be on my shit, but at the same time, naturally being in survival mode, considering I had this responsibility that I was trying my best to handle. Then on top of being in a relationship young for 6 years, from 18 to 24, having a second kid at 23, you know what I mean, during the gap of my relationship, my first relationship, then getting another relationship, then getting another one. It was like, when the fuck did I give me time? Because like, honestly, like, truth be told is like, I never was toxically jumping from, even it could sound like that if you look at a timeline, but it wasn't. I was always doing the work. But I'm like, nah, like, this is the first time in my life where I'm like, you know what? Let me get me to this level so that at least if I got to deal with it, I can at least sustain it at this level, because this is the level I at minimum see myself at. And if I am, now granted, I'm in a space, I'm dating, if I find a chick, well, I'm going to say when I find a chick that's like, she fit the season and it don't take me off course. Because I learned a lot. I learned that going into a situation, I don't got to straight jump out there and be like, I'm taking on everything. You know what I mean? I can slow walk it. If I can slow walk a situation and still elevate myself and elevate my partner, then yeah, it might be signing a contract sooner than later. But as far as in bringing shit with me, I'm only taking the fact that I know I could commit. And I know that I still want to be married. I know marriage is ultimately the goal. The goal is still a goal. The goal don't change because the person changed. The goal is the goal. That's the end goal. So if you're somebody out there and you just got out of a situation, you contemplating getting out of a situation, don't get too down on yourself, man. Or woman, don't get too down on yourself. Take what you can from a situation, and this is why knowing what you want is imperative, because it helps you have clarity when making certain decisions. I was clear on my decision, so I wasn't worried about, like, it was just about dealing with it. It was like, you're never gonna account for how you're gonna feel. Yeah, it was so many feelings that I didn't account for. I'm like, damn, I ain't not gonna feel like that. I ain't know this gonna make me feel like that. I ain't know, even the sense of, damn, like, not giving myself grace, like, but the part about it is, I know I tried. So it don't matter. It's not like I was perfect. It's not, because like, this isn't to say like my efforts mean somebody else didn't try. It's just to say that regardless if we both tried, it didn't work. Right. And that's cool. It is what it is. It. Yeah, for sure. You got to, because at the end of the day, as long as we didn't leave tearing each other down, I would never. I don't have no desire to. I don't have no need to. It just is what it is. And it's like, now it made me realize my capacity for how to provide. And like I said, that preparation stage I was explaining, men got to go through it. Ladies, the way y'all need to prepare yourselves, man. We always talk about men preparing themselves by, I just said, the 3 F's: faith, fitness, and finance. I'm not even going to give y'all no fucking acronym for the shit. Y'all just need to go back and work on healing from that trauma. Learn how to stop letting men be behind the 8 ball when y'all start by seeing them the way in a frame that was created by another person, right? Because it's not fair. So a lot of men start behind the 8 ball when they're trying to have a fair game, and they come up to you with genuine intentions, and you playing them from defense. You got your wall up, and you think because you decorated the wall and it's pretty, that it's not a wall. It's still a fucking wall. The wall need to be tore down. Now, the discerning factor is knowing yourself in this single season, right? Because women don't got to be single and get y'all finances and all that, right? Do that because that's what you want to do, not because you feel like that's what's going to land you the man. You don't land the man by getting your finances right. Land the man by getting your motherfucking morals right, your self-respect right, your self-love, and your ability to be a good follower. If you want to attract a good leader, you have to be a good follower. It's just what it is, because leaders would like to lead with as minimal resistance as possible. It don't mean a man don't want you to add and enhance the vision with your perspective. It just means a nigga don't want to be challenged through the entirety of the situation. So if you want to attract a man that's in alignment, that's working on his faith, his fitness, his finances, and his ability to be able to lead, and he's preparing himself for that, then you need to prepare yourself by going back and healing from trauma, changing your perspective on how you see the world based on the things that happened to you, and giving a motherfucker a fair shot, a fair opportunity to write their own slate. Like, give a motherfucker the opportunity to create their own history with you. Whereas though you judging them off what they did and not what somebody else did. Now I know that's a challenge for y'all, but if you want to be the person that you want to be and attract the person that you want to attract, you have to accept that challenge, ladies. That's my advice to y'all.
Gotcha. Back to the fellas real quick. So you speak about committing, and you realize what you can handle, what you was built for. Let's speak on men that may be out there struggling with the idea of monogamy. I know we spoke a long time ago, whereas like you don't believe that monogamy is for everybody, it's a natural thing, whatever. But if you're saying you want to be in a relationship, if that's your parameters of what y'all got going on, then that's what established. So you either got to commit to that or realize that's not what's for you. I think a lot
of men hide the fact that they're not monogamous, and they hide it in so many ways that that's why they get looked at as like liars. Because naturally, men aren't good liars, right? Like flat out, like men would rather be honest. But the protection aspect of wanting to protect a woman's feelings behind how the man truly feel is why they lie. Whereas though I feel like a woman allowed to protect herself, a man allowed to protect his woman. And I'll unpack that in a later conversation. Let's stay on a simple thought about the monogamy part of it. I feel like if you choose a monogamy, it's always going to be a struggle. You're a man. Your fucking nature is to hunt. But this is where it comes to having self-discipline and self-respect and respect for your partner and being friends with your partner. Because as men, because we truly, genuinely do operate off loyalty, if we are friends with a person, we're not going to do things that are disloyal. But when you look at your woman, and even if you have a friendship, and a lot of times men don't see sleeping around as being disloyal as long as it don't get back to a woman. It might not be women math, but it's man math. And at the end of the day, as men, we all understand the logic behind it. Even if they don't want to respect it, it don't fucking matter. We get it. But the fact of the matter is, if you are choosing monogamy and you're struggling with monogamy, then okay, you're a man, you're human. You got to take it one day at a time. It's not no fucking thing that you just flip off and you just all of a sudden, oh, I only got eyes for you. No, your eyes never close, but your discipline and your decision making is what changes. Like my thing with me, when I was able to because I never cheated. Once I got out of my very, very first relationship, I never cheated on no other girl that I was with. The way I stopped myself from cheating was I always foresaw what it would become. Am I willing to take what come with her if I knock this down? Am I willing to lose what I might lose if I knock this down? And it was always no. Yeah. And because it was no, it's like, I don't really want this. Yeah. I'm just having a lustful, desiring type moment. I'm curious of what it might be like, and I could do without. But if you know that you're trying to be monogamous and it's not something that's for you, you need to be honest about that, because you're more likely to attract what's for you when you establish what's for you. You know how you find what you're looking for on Google? By typing in what you want. If you type in what you don't want, you're going to attract what you don't want. So trying to act like you want fucking McDonald's, but you know you want Burger King, when you type in McDonald's, McDonald's is going to pop up. You know what I'm saying? Or if you want motherfucking Honey Grow or motherfucking Kava or Chipotle, but you type in fucking Pizza Hut. And Popeyes. Like, no, type in what you want. And that's how you enter the space of being able to attract what you want. But if you're a man and you chose monogamy and it's something that you're struggling with, bro, take it one day at a time, one moment at a time. Nigga, look. Fuck that. You're a man. Look. Just don't do nothing. Like I just always say, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Because they look. Like, we're not about to sit here and be delusional. You can open your eyes, but just don't motherfucking.
They look at the same bitches.
Just don't open their legs. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? And keep it like that. And take it one day at a time and be upfront and honest with yourself about your struggles with it. And just try your best to control yourself from acting on it.
What I always say as well, to add to that, is be where you're supposed to be at as well. Cause I feel like a lot of times niggas go out their way. And that's where you fuck up. Cause most of the time, unless you just him, you just that nigga. It's like, pussy not falling in your lap. You kind of, you fair. I think that the average
I don't cheat though. So just care.
You push it off your lap. You push it off your lap. Yeah, but the average nigga, the pussy is not just consistently falling in your lap. You typically have to go out your way, be somewhere, do something you shouldn't have to done to land where the pussy was in proximity.
Let me tell you,
pussy proximity.
That's funny.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Where you did too much. Yeah. You shouldn't have been liking that girl picture that many times. Yeah. You shouldn't have been in the DM. Yeah. You knew that girl was gonna be at that. You know she worked
your limits.
Is that you know she worked there? Why are you going there? You don't work there. Why are you there?
It's like if you're trying to stop eating cookies, why the cookies on the table?
Exactly.
Put the fucking cookies out of sight.
Right.
Stop putting yourself in environments that can touch you.
Stop eating cookies.
Why you at the strip club?
Yeah.
You know you don't got the discipline, nigga. Why you here? But what I was gonna say was, what's so unfair for us as men, right? And the more disciplined we are, the more women try us. The more they try to push their luck, because they are attracted to seeing how far they can get you to bend for them. Right. So it's like, if they feel like you're resisting them, they desire you more. So when you say, unless you him, pussy don't fall in your lap. No, if you're a disciplined man, pussy really do fall in your lap, because this is why women find themselves attracted to married men for multiple reasons. For the fact that of course they desire the lifestyle that you provide for your wife, you know, and the other part of it is they want to see if they can get you to, the same way men hunt a woman to see if I can get them to, you know, come or you know, extend their boundaries. Women do the same thing. And so many men are not used to women throwing themselves at them that they don't have that boundary that's like, this ain't worth it. Which I'm telling y'all,
that's
had a foresight. Had a foresight to say, is it going to be worth what it's going to cost me? Because the cost ain't always financial. It's almost never financial. Do you want to deal with this woman for the rest of your life as having that connection with you? Even if y'all do it and she just know and you just know, but she know,
she hold
and your partner don't know, and it's like, do you want her to have that? You know what I mean? Because my thing be from audacity standpoint. Like, why you think I'm going to cheat with you? Why you think you worth giving up what I'm building? Why you think you worth fucking up my union? What make you think you worth that? Like, you got to be some pretty fine shit, some pretty legit shit, some shit that's worth leaving this situation for me to even risk it at this point, right? Because I understand that the investment is way beyond sex once you get to a certain point of when you got shit that you working and that you building. You know what I mean? So if you a man and you out there And you know that that's one of them things. Yeah, it could fall in your lap if you discipline. Yeah, it could fall in your lap if you no longer single and you off the market because they got this thing where they want to test us. They want to see, can I get this nigga to motherfucking do what I want him to do against his will? And most niggas be folding.
Side note real quick, one thing you said I thought was funny. I've heard girls, when you said, what makes you think she the type that you leave? I've heard girls say, what make you think I'm the type that I be the side bitch? Like, it's giving side bitch type shit.
Like, I respect it.
And you,
because it is giving that.
Right. It's like, it's giving whoever he looks at the time, I promise you. But I don't know. I'm going to give some pushback. I'm sorry. I'm a feminist today. I'm going to give some pushback. Like, fall in your lap consistently? Do it fall near you, next to your lap, on the table? Like, but I truly, again, I've seen it. Because again, I feel the other thing a lot of people don't anticipate or talk about a lot of times is like workplace shit.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so when you the nigga that's
pussy proximity,
hiring people, giving out bread, and
you
like
when you HR,
like when you got like a lot of like, I'm him. Like, I'm super him and them all.
Stand for him resources.
Yeah, and I see it all the time where certain girls be doing certain shit, whatever. And one is two things losing that situation: your job and your relationship. So that's a whole other situation.
Think, nigga, think.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I just understand that girls know because I feel like girls gonna test certain things.
That's a fact.
I feel that's where niggas lose because they always gonna be like, niggas gonna not just match the energy, they going like further with the energy.
Niggas don't, to the initial point, niggas don't have the boundary because they're not used to being pursued.
That's a fact.
So it's like, how do I deal with it? And you a hunter. Imagine you a fucking lion and a gazelle just lay in front of you.
Right here?
Like, I don't gotta chase you or nothing. You just gonna lay there and you just gonna let me have you? Yeah, you tell a lion to chill. Like, you tell a motherfucking a pack of wolves to chill. Yeah, okay. So that's a challenge, bro.
That's
dead ass like expecting a woman to know what she wants to eat, to expecting her to be decisive, expecting her to not cry. We literally are asking them to operate outside of their nature.
That's right.
While putting them in environments that's conducive to their nature. Like women lose common sense when you put them in a safe space. You're like, where the fuck? You got a doctor's degree. What the fuck? Yeah, because you're in a space that's safe enough that allows you to live in La La Land and Lulu Land. And that's their favorite two lands to visit. Right. La La Land and the Lulu Land. So if you put a nigga in a predicament where
pussy proximity,
pussy proximity, she's throwing it at him.
Lulu Land.
Like, that's no, nigga. That's motherfucking the attack zone. You came in a strike zone. She walked into the strike zone. Yeah. You there, not to say that it's excused or justified, but it's like the same grace that we extend when operating in a woman's operating in her nature, we have to now, granted, as a man, because we don't operate from emotions, we have the ability to not be impulsive. I be feeling bad for women sometimes because they can't control their impulsiveness. They can't control their emotional roller coasters and they can't control it. So this is why it's almost like you have to give them grace, because if they could, they would. Like, you think they want to be sad, happy, mad, sad, happy, want this, want that, want this, want that. No, they can't control it. Whereas though as men, it's like, I'm kind of satisfied here. So this is why we don't get that extra extended grace where we make decisions that's like, because we're supposed to know better. Because ultimately we can control ourselves. So it's like, some niggas can't, but they should be able to. It's like, nigga, you have it somewhere in your genetic makeup to be able to have self-control, and you're choosing not to. So, you know, nigga, she entered the strike zone, but you kind of was supposed to turn it down, but I kind of understand why you ain't turn it down.
Aim somewhere.
Nigga, go home and fuck your chick. Right? Because it's going to cost you more in the long run. And I'm not trying to sound like this holier than thou person. I really care about your union.
1% better.
1% better. Take one at a time. If you smack something and you weren't supposed to, you know, it ain't for me to judge, nigga. But just try to not do it no more. Like, that's the best advice I give you. Because I never tell a nigga not to. It's just like, do you, but if you listen to us, nigga, at least try not to. Try to do what you can live with, nigga. Stand on that shit.
Another thing I'll speak about is recently, you know, now I'm an audiobook aficionado at this point.
Nigga, you on some shit. Your catalog is crazy, nigga. He went deep in the audiobook bag.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the latest books I finished was All About Love. Have you heard about this one?
That's the joint with it's like burgundy and gold stripes.
Probably, but not really though.
Who is it by?
Bell Hooks. Yeah, it's the one. Yeah,
okay, cool. When I dropped my book a few years ago, women were reading that book.
It might have changed the cover. It's like bright red now with black.
It was red with blonde.
You said burgundy. It's not burgundy. Okay. It's not important. What?
Yeah, but it's red and gold, nigga.
Fair.
We talking about the same book.
Not really that gold, but all right.
What is it? Red and what?
It's like just red and black. Like
I heard about it. All About Love. Maybe I'm wrong with the color.
Possibly.
That is the title.
Yes, but I just think you should read it. I think I'm very curious of someone like you, how you process things and assess things, especially from a sense of like.
Is it like the female version of The Way of the Superior Man?
I actually didn't finish that one because I felt like I think we spoke about this where I felt it was to your point about we talking about the coaching thing you went to where I felt that was like for of a younger version of myself. So no, this actually I felt man or woman could appreciate this because it really delved deep into just the idea of love and philosophy, and to me why it was like super just elite writing because they was applying her breakdown of love to just society, even down to like financial shit. I'm gonna
check it out.
How society moves, trends, shit like that. Like,
so typically with me, my learning style, right?
Okay.
I typically learn in arenas that have nothing to do with what I do. Okay. Better than I do in arenas that directly address what I do because I would like to come up with my own ideologies. But I like for instance, right? The concept of a drive-through, you know where that came from?
No.
It came from banks. So banks did it first.
Before
and then
food.
fast food adopted it. You would have never thought that. You would have never knew. So you would have probably thought a food chain seen another food chain do it and they mimicked it, but it came from a bank. So that's my way of learning. I go into an arena that's like way far. Now, granted, I'm going to check it out because I don't know what the contents are. But based on typically when people try to recommend books like that to me, I read them and be like, I already wrote about this. So maybe the principles is always the same, but maybe the philosophy and how we arrive at it be a little different. Yeah. So it goes back to the whole rapper concept. It's like we all using the same language, but you know how we hit our punchlines is a little different. But I'll check it out.
For sure. No, I'm very confident that you'll be oh no, this is like another
because like
approach to it, whatever.
Right, cool. Because that's why I like 4 Agreements. That's why I like Think and Grow Rich because they teach concepts and principles that allow you to apply it to wherever you want the information to go. But when it's like targeted, where it's like today you're going to learn about science, it's like I kind of was like trying to get some math out of this type shit. So
but I just want to recommend it for anybody. If you
that's
have
good, I'm gonna check it out.
And I think anybody should read it because again, it wasn't just about like you could be a better partner, communicate.
No, you said love in general.
Yeah, love in general, all about love.
Like
and it starts with talking about kids. And just how even you raise your child, how we were as children, how kids don't have rights, and just all that shit, and they just build from there. So
check it out.
Just,
can I get your audiobook login?
Well, you know, I got the Libby app, so yeah, absolutely.
All right, bet.
You know, I get the free books.
I want okay
Library app, free game.
So you don't pay for none of that shit.
Nope.
Is this pirating? Can I get in trouble?
It's a real thing.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
Get the Libby app. Go to the library, get a library card, get the Libby app, all the books you want.
You giving them game that should be given to the free exclusive community.
That's fair.
So that's one that we give y'all. But if y'all looking for exclusive gems and tips on what we directly do day to day to get personal development. And the beautiful thing about it now is you getting me in a different season because now you going to get me walking back into a relationship. So you get to personally develop while I'm in a season of developing through this single season. Where I just in a relationship, now I got to develop through the single season, and now you get to walk with me if you in that season versus feeling like you left out and trying to figure it out. And then you got a motherfucker that's walking into marriage. So now you get to learn from motherfucker that's so it's like you get both sides of the situation in this private community because we're going to share our direct philosophies, our direct approach to things that we do in the day-to-day that we didn't even realize could help other people that has helped us and that'll help you. And, you know, just because I'm in this single season don't negate the fact that I got 12, 13 plus years of relationship experience. Like, motherfuckers be feeling like, nigga, what's your current status? Another invoice. Shut the fuck up. Like,
talking about, nigga?
Nigga, shut up, nigga. You think if I played in the NBA for 13 years and I became a coach, you think I forgot how the game worked, nigga?
Yes.
No. Fuck you talking about, nigga. No, nigga. I'm tapped in more because why? Because now I get to take my experience
JJ Redick
without being emotionally attached to it and give it to motherfuckers. You know, some niggas never won a game as a fucking player, but they coached a lot of people to championships.
And what I was gonna say to piggyback lastly off the book, one of the things I like. So right now, I ain't gonna admit, man, I'm just in a season of refining myself through love. So I thought about how I talk to my girl, my daughter, mainly just them two, because you know the main people I'm in contact with, whatever. And one of the main things that was ringing in my head recently was just about being more impeccable with my word. And it's funny, you know, we speak about it here. I think about it with like, I feel I've thought about that 4 Agreement principle in most facets of my life, but I never really took it that seriously in my relationship with my daughter. For as simple as something in the book, All About Love and Gender, he's saying shit like, you know, they broke down the whole idea of lying, why lying is never good. You know, typical golden rule principle, but they talk about just on a fundamental level, when you lie to your kids, even about simple shit, how it can just fuck up their minds
100%.
on like a never-ending chain.
100%.
It made me think about my daughter. If we in the car and she's like, "Oh, Daddy, can we go to Chick-fil-A, whatever?"
Like, yo,
and it be Tuesday, I be like, "It's closed."
Oh shit!
Shit like that.
You really be lying. I just tell them no. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I don't. I would just tell them no.
Fair. And or it might be it might be closed early, whatever the fuck. I'll just be saying shit or like, oh, Dunkin' Donuts, oh no, whatever type shit. But I realized those unconscious things, just to not be intentional with my word that time, or to not engage like she's a real human being. One, that's not really validating her experience, and that's also confusing her over time subconsciously. So I was thinking about, I truly need to be more. Of course, these are little white lies. She's not gonna need therapy tomorrow for per se, whatever. But it also can say the chain of events you can't really truly account for, or whatever. So the idea of being impeccable with youre, I've realized I need to be better with that in my relationship, because that's the two most important relationships in my life.
100%.
So whether I was speaking to Ricky earlier about, even my girl, like, you know, we up here on the show, we joke, I do smut and this and that. I realize, you know what? I'm gonna do a little less of that from now on.
You
man.
ain't been doing it lately.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little less.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, men gonna be men.
Yeah.
I still got a bid, but
Hey,
like,
she
no.
gonna smut you to her friends.
Of course, they was gonna do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, just I
We
did.
gotta keep the smut.
Yeah, that's what I'm moving forward to. Like, no, just being more intentional
That's
and
what's up,
just
though.
lead with and speak with more love in the world.
And
that's
that's why
I love the most.
Even like, you know how like you might say little words and I utter and I correct it. Like
Right.
I literally practice being impeccable with my word, and like it might like it's so second nature to me that it's not even a thought. But at one point I had to be so intentional that I had to keep reminding myself like, oh wait, let me not. And once after a while, once you get so accustomed to being impeccable with your word, it just start to like certain words I don't even think. Certain words I won't even say. Like literally I won't even say, and you know, because we have conversations where I don't even say certain words, and it's not like I'm like trying to be impeccable with my word. No, like I have developed a habit of being impeccable with my word by understanding like words literally rule the world. Like words literally, bro, the power of the tongue is so real, and it's like, because it's so real, it's like not even just like the cliche way that people think, but it's like you can literally build a person up with words, or you can tear them down with words. You can literally, the truth can set you free, or a lie can destroy everything that you're working towards. So being impeccable with your word is really understanding that you better off just speaking the way you want shit to be. Speaking, it's like, it was when I talked about that book of what to say to yourself, and it was like talking about the 5 levels of self-talk, and I didn't read the whole book. I read one page, so I'm not about to sit here and try to break the whole book down. But in that one page, we were just talking about the 5 different ways to self-talk, and just at least getting to neutral. Like so many people are at a space where they talk against themselves, right? Like the inner voice in your head works against you, when you at least need to neutralize it to where as though you put another voice that's actually your voice in your head, because the voice that's in your head typically be your friends, your family, the people you feel like judging you, your ex. It's never your voice. If you actually slow your mind down and get clear, you're like, whose fucking voice is this? Because I wouldn't talk to myself like that, right? So you realize that it's not even my words. I'm not even the person saying this shit. This is a motherfucking hater. This is a motherfucker that, why your voice louder than mine? So now you need your voice to neutralize that voice. And when that voice say you can't, yes the fuck I can, you ain't gonna do that, yes I am, because I did it before. And now once you get to a neutral space, you need to then move it into affirmative space, where now it's no longer even that other voice don't even exist. Now you just affirming, yo, you know what? I am this type of person. I can do this. I am great at that. And now that shows up in how you talk to others. Now you don't allow other people to speak against themselves, because you did the work to get yourself from a negative self-talk to a neutral space to an affirmative space. And that's where the true art of being impeccable with your word becomes second nature versus it being a struggle. And that's how it became for me.
Dope. One last thing before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea of
Nigga, fuck your ideas, I know. That's what you claim it down. All right.
Okay. One last thing I was thinking about, the idea. I don't know if cause I guess we can do this, but it can be a cliffhanger for like the next experience. Cause you know, we do got the school community where we want to have like a lot of our different pillars of our discussion, where the main thing we talk about is like, you know, finances, personal development, relationship and parenting, and then media, you know, whether it's audiobooks, documentaries, whatever it is. We want to have our school community, for all our 1%ers, whoever interested in that, whoever is interested in those things of discussion, where you could, you know, hear more about from us, but also other people that's 1% as a community. So that's what we're gonna gear some of these discussions
100%.
solely for that.
Yeah.
So besides the pillars of content, we're gonna have some of these exclusive clips
100%.
that are gonna be in that
framework, like things that like literally like giving y'all the breakdown, like of what you can do in your own way that can help you get better as a man. Because ultimately that's what this shit is about. It's no fucking right, or it is wrong way do it. But it's really no only way, right? It's the way that works for you. And we just want to lead you to that way by giving you the tools, the resources, the framework, the knowledge, and the accountability to get better, because you got to get around people that are in better predicaments than you. And it's not a financial thing. It's literally people that have better character, people that have more discipline, people that have a high level of morale and morals, people that have good energy. All of these things will help you get better if you stay around it long enough. But you don't need to be around that energy being a fucking a negative fucking Nate and a fucking a blood sucking leech. You need to get around that energy and be valuable to it while being open to allowing yourself to grow and develop and remaining coachable and being observative in a way that allows you to expand your current capacity, because that will show up in every area of your life. And that's what the 1% community is designed to do. We're putting, because we're not gonna be the only men in there like us. We want all the men in there that's like us, that got things that they can offer to one another that might suit the person, because everybody need a brother that they can call on when they need help. And we want to create that community. So, you know, the 1%ers, you know, we out here, we around, and y'all, you a 1%er, you watching it right now, whether you in the community or not, you already a 1%er. Now it's about, do you want to connect with the rest of them? Because this shit is going to be worldwide. Whereas though, if you live in motherfucking Miami, Houston, motherfucking Orlando, Philadelphia, Atlanta, New York, and you're a 1%er, and there's other 1%ers out there, y'all could link up and create that community of 1%ers, and where though y'all can maybe work out in the gym together, hold each other accountable. Like, we're creating a worldwide brotherhood, man. Join the 1%ers.
And so before we get out of here, I'll do the little teaser topics. Because again, outside of us just talking about shit, again, life always life, and God always be God.
God always want God.
We're going to be also working through our own situation discussions. So, you know,
I just was transparent on this, Joe. Right. I mean, I'm always transparent, but like, I just opened up in that regard to let y'all know, let's get on this walk, man. Yeah. Let's do this shit.
So, you know, one of the things that we're going to, topic we're going to talk about is, you know, something I went through recently. So what do you do when you don't want to have no more kids, but your partner wants to have more kids?
Yeah.
How do you even approach that conversation? How do you positively and conducively even have it without, you know,
ending a relationship? That could be a fucking,
or just offending anybody, making it an argument at the point where it could just be just a regular conversation. So that's something we're going to talk about. And then other things we're going to talk about is more so based on our pillars. Is one of the things is let's go with a 5-day morning routine reflection.
That's good.
Something like that. We could do, what will be your mission statement? I think that'd be cool for everybody in the community to talk about that.
And I'm going to teach them how to build their finances, how to go from one income to having multiple. Like, you ain't got to quit your job to create wealth. Although, you know, if you don't love what you do, you know, and it ain't pay you enough and all that, then, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm always lean out. But I also know how to help you stay in your fucking profession and make more money.
Right.
Case in point, he's a fucking full corporate America fucking guy, and he always had, like, you know, his own things that he wanted to do, but now we actually executing and doing it, and you know, we want to do that for you, you know. So yeah.
And the last thing I'll say is, I think this would be dope for just a great icebreaker for the whole community, is share your mentor stories or your mentorship goals. And I feel we probably all had experiences or situations where we was either end of that spectrum, whether we gave game to somebody else or we learned from somebody else. And that's what this whole shit is about. What you can learn from others that are them hopefully pass on to other people. And this shit could keep going, and, you know, positive information.
Good, man. All right, so, man, you already know, man. We want to try to get 1% better every day. And as y'all let people know we grow, don't just let them know about this episode. Let them know about the entire platform, the entire podcast, and let them know about the 1% community. I don't want people that's out there to think that it's only for men, because it's not, but we'd be lying to say that we not targeting the men.
For sure.
The reason being because if we want to create better households, we're going to have to create better men. And we can't create better men by telling men how to be better. We only can do that by leading by example, showing men how to be better, and they taking their own, whatever they extract from it, to apply to them what works for them to make their household better. So, yeah, man, make sure y'all let people know about the 1%ers community. Make sure y'all go follow me on Instagram at WFSC. Follow the network at WFNetwork.WSC. Get the podcast on all audio platforms, The Wolf Has Spoken Podcast. Get us on YouTube, Wolf Network. The Wolf Has Spoken Podcast on the Wolf Network. Where can they find you at, Kid?
Right on Q Live, as in the right side on QUE Live.
And make sure y'all don't go nowhere, because we're going to make sure that we offer y'all that extra information. And even if it's not on this camera, just know that we'll put videos in there that's exclusive for y'all, to y'all. That's a part of the 1%ers community. So till next time, we see y'all soon again, man. The Wolf Has Spoken.